We continue with the essentials of budgetary control. You know, from the definition, what is given by the ICMA, London, England, we can make out what the essential features of budgetary control are. So basically what happens is, in an organization, we have different functions like production function, sales is one area, expenses. So we divide the organization into several sections, and each section is going to be called as a budget center. Once you divide them as a budget center, you're going to prepare a separate budget for each budget center. Suppose you talk about sales department, there would be a sales budget. For production department, we'll be having a production budget. Like that, we have different functions, different budgets. So there would be a separate budget for each budget center. Then what we basically try to do is, we try to consolidate all these budgets. See, if I look at only sales, probably sales budget will tell me like which product, which area, which quarter, how much I would be selling at what price. Correct? If I'm talking about cash budget, which month, what would be the receipts, what would be the payments, what would be the cash balance. Now, when I'm looking at overhead budget or expenses budget, I'll be knowing like at what level of activity, what will be the total expenses. So this is how the budgets are. But unless and until I consolidate them, I would not be knowing the totality of it. Therefore, I consolidate all this functional budget. Then I'll try to present something called as a master budget. This is going to present overall organizational objectives, which is for the coming period, right? And then later on, this budgetary control, what it does is, it is actually trying to compare the actual level of performance against the budgets. If there is any difference, if there is any variation, these variances are reported after analyzing them properly, why there is a difference, because this is what is going to provide us the basis for our future course of action. So this is about essentials of budgetary control. Then moving further. So what are the objectives of budgetary control? As I've just now told you, it helps in planning, it helps in coordination, it helps in communication, it helps in control and performance evaluation. So these you can elaborately write on this. Now, talking about the advantages of budgetary control. Now, when you look at the advantages of budgetary control, what is the first one saying here? What is the first point? We talk about maximization of profits. So how the budgets are going to maximize the profits? If you have planned everything properly and if everything is executed according to your plans, obviously there will be a lot of savings. If you plan that the expenditure for this particular quarter should not be, is fixed, then you will plan accordingly. If you're working as per your plans, obviously there will be a lot of cost savings, and cost cuttings will result in maximizing the profits. Effective coordination is already done in the basic features of what budgetary control is. Evaluation of executive performances. So once I have given you the budgets, then it is easy for me to evaluate your performance, because I would like to check whether you're working as per the plan or not. If there is any deviation, then probably I will come to know that this particular department or this particular executive is not as per, is not going as per the plan. Then clear-cut goals and targets are set, because as I told you, it is defined. This is what is the budget. So this is your goal. This is going to be your target. Try to achieve it. If you're not achieving, then probably I would like to get a reason from you, like as to why it has not been achieved. Economy in operations, as there will be a lot of cost savings. This will reveal the ineffectiveness, because I'm comparing your actuals with the budgeted. If there is any shortfalls, it is going to reveal by the budgetary control. And not only that, there would be continuous monitoring that helps me in correcting the performance. And if somebody is doing really good, obviously I'm going to, remunerate them properly. Maybe some incentive schemes can be introduced based on their performance. So, and not only this, if I know what are profitable products and profitable activities and what are unprofitable or non-profitable products and activities, probably this will help me in shutting down certain things. Apart from this, we can still add, uh, when you want some excess cash, probably the planning will help you. Where there is an excess, suppose when you prepare a cash budget, it tells you like, okay, in this particular quarter, we are going to have some excess cash, or in this particular month, we are going to have a shortfall of cash. So you can actually plan for this shortfall and excess cash. If there is a shortfall, what you will try to do, go and talk to a banker, ask for an overdraft facility. You guys know what overdraft is, right? Cash credit and overdraft facility. Or when there is some excess cash, you probably go to an investment avenue where you can park your surplus money, right? So these all things you can put in the advantages of budgetary control. Talking about limitations of budgetary control, prediction of uncertain future. Always we are going to talk about future, and future is uncertain. Business is full of uncertainties, right? So it is very difficult to have the perfect estimates. What could be your cash receipts? What could be your cash payments? I'm just talking about one cash budget. There are so many things you can talk about, right? Can you predict perfectly like what could be your receipts, what could be your payments? It's very difficult. Why? Because future is very uncertain. Changes of conditions, when the conditions, because we live in a dynamic environment, and whenever the change take place, our budget is prepared in the past. Now this has to be adapted to the changes. Sometimes it is not possible, so conditions will change. That is one limitation. Difficulty in coordination and conflict among different departments. All these things add up to the limitations of budgetary control. So this is all something about the introduction part. Thank you.